Last night, I was sitting in bed and I didn't go to classes last night. Yesterday. I decided to not go, to remain here. And yeah, I had bought myself some snacks with the money that I had to use for transport. Um, I remember eating those snacks and just feeling so full, like I was so full. And in that state, the only thing that I wanted to do was just sleep or like watch some content. But I could not sleep because I was so full of energy because I had like yogurt and I put some bananas in there. I put some raisins in there and I also put some sunflower seeds. It was like a nice yogurt bowl and that was a lot of energy and you know and everything else. So I had a lot of energy to just be able to do stuff, but there was nothing for me to do. Like I already had done what I had to do for my business. I had already done my workout for the day. I was already bathed up, clean. Literally, there was nothing else left for me to do. And I had the whole day to myself. And I have this energy and I got nothing else to do. So I just watched content. But then it gets it gets to a certain point because you don't you don't go into YouTube and just watch whatever is there. You want to watch creators, specific creators. And it's been a long day yesterday because the creators that I was actually hoping that they would drop, they actually ended up not dropping any videos. Therefore, I was just left with having to scour the internet for anything that would interest me, which was, it wasn't even there. I just ended up just watching some like not crazy shit, but like just doing whatever to just pass the time, bro. And you can already see what frequency I was emitting in that area, in that moment. I just stuffed myself with some, basically just sweets. Basically, I'm in a state of gluttony. I'm in a state where I'm just looking for pleasure. I'm not. I'm not a person who's disciplined. I'm not a person who's purpose driven, committed to anything at that point. I just wanna wind down, relax, even though I haven't done anything for the day. Basically, I'm the true embodiment of my old self, my old frequency. Came late night, I'm sitting in bed and I'm having these thoughts just showering me. They are saying, why are we even going to class tomorrow? We shouldn't even go to class tomorrow. We are literally doing like practicals, clinical practicals, not theory. This is the information that is very valuable because this is the information that we use once we are in the actual environment space, in the facilities, because this is the information that we will be using there on a day-to-day basis. But for some reason I was getting these suggestions, these thoughts. I couldn't sleep. First of all, I couldn't even do my night routine, which was to stretch and to meditate. I just felt my body, I felt my frequency that even if I did it, I wouldn't get any benefit from it because my mind would just be constantly distracted and I could sense it. And my stomach as well at the same time, it was acting up because I had those sweets, right? Mind you, this is like 4, 5, 6 hours later, and yet I'm still feeling the effects of what I ate, like back in the, like since like the afternoon, and this is now evening. So I'm just struggling to sleep. I'm just having these thoughts. Do I go to school? Do I not go to school? If I don't go to school, I can then buy myself some more snacks today and be able to enjoy that. But if I do go to school, I get to learn and I get to find out answers to the questions that I have. It made all the sense to go to school, bruh. But for some reason, I just didn't feel like going. I just couldn't find it in myself to convince myself to feel like going. Keyword, to feel like going. Even though my mind, it felt like my mind comes second to my feelings. It felt like really the only thing that I am is my feelings. My feelings are the leader, the captain of my ship. They dictate the thoughts I get. They dictate the direction I take. If I feel hungry, I get thoughts that reinforce me to take care of that hunger. So the thoughts that I receive are only the reflection of my state, of my feeling state, of my emotional state. And so even though I tried to like figure out like really what's the best option, I honestly want to say I was convinced not to go. I literally was convinced not to go because I was listening to my feelings, to my state, how I felt. Mind you, I felt like obviously I'm doing something that I'm not. This is something that I've never thought I would end up doing in life. Taking care of people, old elderly people, patients and everything. I would never have dreamt of doing this ever. Therefore, it was never in the plan. Me doing it, I said yes to me taking this course because I was just sick and tired of always being ta- asked about what am I wanna do, what jobs do I wanna do, am I applying, or when do I plan to work, when do I plan to go back to school. I just said yes to this because my aunt said it's a good opportunity because you get a certificate and then you get a job. I just said yes because she's always on my case, bruh. Always on my case about the same thing. And deep down, I have my business, my trading business, and that is the only thing that I know for a fact is what I am destined to do in the terms of making means. I mean, making ends meet. And so, in this state I was in yesterday, I was split in two essentially. A part of me wants to do good, to go become this profession, get the certificate qualification, land myself a salary wage based job, do good and make my parents proud of myself and what I've become, you know. But then another part of me, which was the most dominant part, is saying fuck that shit. I reject everything you're saying. I reject being dictated by people who do not know what I want deep down. People who have not reached success that I want in life. I know what I want in life, and that is to become a trader, profitable trader, that is. And I do not want to be doing things that are not aligned with that identity. But then again, Trading is not like a thing where it's like it's you are trading your time for money. That it doesn't work like that. Trading is based off the decisions you make. You get paid based off on the decisions that you take in the market. Therefore, you only need a few minutes to look at the markets to have an idea what your decision is going to be and take that decision. And then after that, it's all up to the markets whether that decision will play out in the next few hours or the next few days or weeks. It's going to solely depend on how the markets move. You have no control over that. Therefore, that is why when I didn't go to school yesterday, I had all of this time because all my inputs when it comes to my business were already done. There was nothing else I could do. Even if I would back test, I'm not gonna back test for 8 hours because it's just not that it's impossible. It's just not the best thing to do because you are not going to become profitable by just backtesting for 8 hours. It's all about building the habits, building the psychology, building the identity of a consistently profitable trader. And it doesn't work like that either way. Therefore, it was a flawed perception to say, I don't want to do certain things, X, going to school because I want to have my time to myself. I want to Because basically, the only thing that I do is just stay in bed and just rot. I just watch content because I have so much time. And that is the exact time that I should be trading to learn. No, not trading in the sense of exchange, but trading in the sense of exchanging that time for something that can give me a salary, right? Like this profession that I'm actually working towards. Because trading is just passive, bro. You just do one thing, click this and that, then that's it, bro. You let the markets do its thing. After that, it's just you. What then do you do? You've done everything else. You still have more time. Obviously, we want to use that time to actually build the life that we actually want, but we can't build the life that we actually want now because we are not consistently profitable. And now we do need money. And we have our parents that we live with telling us we must go a certain route. We are already in a certain route. It was just a frequency war. There was a huge distortion in my frequency. Huge distortion. And I remember being so convinced that I don't need to go to class ever for this rest of the week, that I'm just gonna lie to my parents, say that I'm going even though I know I'm not going. And I remember just trying to fall asleep and I just couldn't, bro. My mind was racing. I just felt off. I felt off. And I remember very distinctively hearing my neighbor's prayer. And the words that I extrapolated from his prayer were, Lord, please deliver us from thoughts that tempt us inside our own minds, convincing us of things that we should and not do. And exactly those words hit me so hard because that's exactly what was happening in me at that time. I had thoughts in my head suggesting me, telling me what to do and what not to do. Because deep down I knew that I have no other choice. I'm already in this course. I'm already doing this course. I'm already in this path of completing it, doing my practicals and learning this job. But now I'm thinking these things which are basically gonna lead me to being self-sabotaging myself, causing me to flunk this thing and just taking me to a whole different timeline. Underlying everything else, I knew that truth. And exactly at that moment, that truth came to surface. And exactly at that moment, I knew this is what this was for me. This is exactly for me. I had to hear that exactly at that time. And I was so grateful to God for that because it's only Him who did that, not the devil, obviously. And I remember just feeling this sense of warmth in my heart, in my chest, because I knew that then and there that I am going to school. I have no other choice, and I'm happy with that because I have already made the decision. But for some reason, I was doubting myself if whether was that even a good decision made. But then again, now that I look back, I realize I was in a completely different frequency. I wasn't disciplined, I was pleasure driven. The only thing I wanted to do was stay in comfort, stay lazy, stay in my comfort zone, which is my room, because of the things that I decided to do during the day. Eat, not go do shit, because of those things. And that was the reality of it. It's very weird, bruh, because you do not have any sense of what frequency you are on. You are already in that frequency. Like, I don't have any sense of what frequency I'm currently on right now. I can't lie to you. Therefore, everything I'm saying, I believe it's coming from myself, my truest self. Everything I'm feeling, I believe it's what I really feel. My thoughts, I believe they are really mine. Even though I know that thoughts are just a lagging indicator of my frequency, my state of being, my emotional state, I still identify with them because I forget. Because I forget, because of I engage in things that make me forget instead of engaging with things that bring the awareness back. And it's very weird, it's very crazy. But I guess that's just the journey. You forgetting, and then you consciously have to remember again. Forget, remember, forget, remember. It's just that cycle over and over. And you really have to catch yourself very quick, very early, before you forget and decide to act in that state of ignorance and forgetfulness and find yourself in a completely different, messed up timeline. Because it literally takes just that, not much. With that being said, catch you on the next one. Cheers.